Paul Ludwig Hans Anton von Benckendorff und von Hindenburg, was a German military leader and statesman whose legacy remains deeply intertwined with the tumultuous history of Germany in the early 20th century. He was a decorated field marshal during World War I, the second elected president of the Weimar Republic, and ultimately the man who played a decisive role in Adolf Hitler's rise to power. His actions and decisions have been the subject of extensive historical debate, shaping Germany's trajectory and leaving a lasting impact on the world. Born on October 2, 1847, in the Grand Duchy of Posen, Hindenburg hailed from Prussian nobility. His early life was marked by a rigorous military education, and he began his service in the Prussian army, participating in the Austro-Prussian War of 1866 and the Franco-Prussian War of 1870–1871. These experiences honed his strategic acumen and solidified his reputation as a disciplined and effective officer. By 1911, Hindenburg retired from active military service, only to be recalled at the outbreak of World War I in 1914. His leadership during the Battle of Tannenberg was instrumental in Germany's victory against Russia, catapulting him to national fame. Alongside his deputy, Erich Ludendorff, he became a dominant figure in German military strategy, exerting significant influence over the government and pushing for total war policies. Hindenburg's wartime leadership fostered a powerful cult of personality. His role in the supreme command of the German army from 1916 to 1918 saw increased militarization and the advocacy of unrestricted submarine warfare, which contributed to the United States' entry into the war. Despite his strategic successes, Germany's eventual defeat in 1918 and the signing of the Treaty of Versailles led to widespread disillusionment. Although he retired once again, the myth of Hindenburg persisted. His name was synonymous with stability and strength, making him an appealing figure during the chaotic years of the Weimar Republic. In 1925, Hindenburg was elected as the second president of Germany, succeeding Friedrich Ebert. His election was largely supported by conservative and nationalist factions who saw him as a bulwark against leftist movements. Though he initially upheld the democratic principles of the Weimar Constitution, his presidency was marked by increasing reliance on emergency powers and presidential decrees, particularly during economic crises and political instability. Despite his personal reservations about Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, Hindenburg played a crucial role in Hitler's eventual appointment as Chancellor in 1933. Pressured by advisors and political elites who believed they could control Hitler, Hindenburg reluctantly acquiesced, a decision that paved the way for the dismantling of the Weimar Republic and the establishment of a totalitarian regime. Hindenburg's later years were dominated by his uneasy relationship with Hitler. He privately referred to Hitler as that Austrian corporal and was deeply skeptical of Nazi ideology. However, his failing health and political manipulation by figures such as Franz von Papen led him to approve the Reichstag fire decree and the Enabling Act of 1933, which effectively granted Hitler dictatorial powers. When Hindenburg passed away on August 2, 1934, Hitler quickly moved to consolidate his power, merging the presidency with the chancellorship and declaring himself Führer of Germany. Hindenburg's death marked the final transition from a fragile democracy to an authoritarian state. Hindenburg's legacy is one of paradox. He was a decorated war hero and a symbol of German nationalism. Yet his decisions directly contributed to the collapse of the Weimar Republic and the rise of the Nazi regime. Historians debate whether he was a tragic figure manipulated by those around him or an active participant in Germany's political downfall. His burial site in St. Elizabeth's Church, Marburg, remains a symbolic reminder of his complex legacy. Some view him as a patriotic leader who tried to uphold Germany's interests, while others criticize him for his role in enabling Hitler's dictatorship. Regardless of perspective, Hindenburg's impact on German and world history is undeniable. Paul von Hindenburg was a towering figure in German history, embodying both the strengths and weaknesses of his nation during one of its most turbulent periods. His military achievements earned him widespread admiration, yet his political choices had devastating consequences. Understanding his legacy requires a nuanced examination of his intentions, actions, and the historical forces at play. As history continues to evaluate his role, Hindenburg remains a cautionary example of how individual decisions can shape the fate of nations. For more bite-sized bits of blistering history, please like and subscribe.